Standard 10th, Political Science, Chapter number 4, Social and Political Movements. Coming back to the description, what is a movement? First point, a movement is a collective action. People's active participation is expected in the movement. A movement cannot happen without people actively participating in it. A movement can be formed when people come together in the interest of a particular issue. For example, pollution can be a single issue for which a movement can be created. Why is a movement required against pollution? Because the government keeps on issuing new licenses, new registrations to vehicles without taking into consideration what impact it will have on the environment. New factories and new industries are given permission to come up in areas where people are residing. This increases the risk of pollution on the general public. For this, a movement can be formed. A movement has a particular social objective or a focused problem. It is never an individual reason. It is always a social objective affecting a large number of people. And it is focused on any one problem. You cannot have a movement in general for all the problems in the society. For example, movement against corruption aims at ending corruption. Movements have a leadership. There always has to be a leader who has the vision, who has the direct idea of what this movement is about. Why is this movement taking place? Leadership keeps the movement active. Objectives of the movement, program of action, strategy of agitation are decided by its leaders. A strong leadership makes the movement effective. Movements have organizations. Without an organization, it becomes difficult to follow up the issues. For example, farmers' organization works for farmers' movement. Please understand, all the farmers of all the areas cannot go together to the office to follow up what has happened about the movement. There is always a group of people, an organization, the office bearers of the movement who follow up with the issues. Any movement requires public support. People should feel connected to the issue that is undertaken by the movement. Movements have a program of action which help them to shape public opinion. If there is a movement which is not personally affecting me, I may not be interested in that particular movement, and that may not force me to take part in that movement. I need to feel connected with that issue. I need to find that issue important, for which the movement is taking place. Important movements in India. Now we will be talking about the movements that have taken place in India. First one is the tribal movement. In the pre-independence period, the British government deprived tribal people of their right to livelihood on forest resources. Deprived means did not allow them to use their right. They were not allowed to use the resources, the wood, the leaves, the berries, the fruits, the animals. They were not allowed to use them, which were present in the forest. Then there was a tribal uprising in Kollam from Chota Nagpur, Gond from Orissa, Koli, Bhilla and Ramoshi from Maharashtra, Santhal and Munda from Bihar. The tribal struggle has continued since those years. It is still going on. Tribals in India face several problems. Which are the problems? One major problem is that they are denied right over forests. We have a forest department in the government. So the forest department feels that it is its responsibility to protect the forests for the environment, whereas the farmers feel that they have a right to use the resources that are present in the forests near their villages. The main demand of the tribal movement is to accept their right over forests. They should be allowed to collect products of forests and also should have a right to cultivate on forest land. They want to use the wood of the trees so that they can cook food in their houses because they do not have the supply of gas or any other fuel to light up their kitchen. They do not have any resources to bring the fruits from the markets. They depend on the fruits that are growing in the forests. They feel that they should be given those rights. They should be allowed to cultivate in the forest land. They want to grow rice. They want to grow different vegetables on the forest land because they themselves do not have large parcels of land to cultivate.